So, some of you guys, or a lot of you guys, have been asking for my skincare routine. So, I'm going to today go over my evening skincare routine. And then next week, I'm going to do my morning routine because it's pretty high maintenance and it involves a lot of different products, which several people have said, wow, do you really need that much? And probably not, but I just like to change it up. And there's kind of two different schools of thought. One is that you should use the same products the same times a day over and over and over again. And then there's other people that say it's good to mix in different products and kind of change it up. And it's good to expose your skin to as many different ingredients as possible, beneficial ingredients. So I kind of think that you should try and expose yourself to a lot of different products. Unless you have very sensitive or acne-prone skin, then I wouldn't recommend it because your skin can get irritated from too much change. So now I'm going to let you guys know my routine. So my evening routine is, my first thing is that I wash my skin. Sometimes I do a mask. And one mask I really like is the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Instant Oatmeal Mask. It's a good one. I've had a hard time finding like really good fragrance-free masks that have some moisturizing properties. So this is a good one. So I use this probably 2 or 3 times a week. And then, so then I wash my skin, and sometimes I use different cleansers. There's 3 that I've been using over the last few months frequently. One is the Indie Lee Brightening cleanser. It's a good one, but you definitely have to use a makeup remover beforehand because it doesn't do the best job removing makeup. So, but I do like it. It's got strawberry scent in it, which isn't a irritating fragrance. So, and it's pretty gentle on your skin too. Another good one that I really like, and I just went through a giant bottle of it, is the SkinFix Foaming Oil Cleanser. This does a good job removing makeup and everything, basically. You don't need necessarily a separate makeup remover beforehand. It does a good job removing makeup and leaving your skin feeling soft but not stripped. And then another one that I use, this is more on nights when I've worn a lot of makeup or a lot of sunscreen, is the Paula's Choice Perfect Cleansing Oil. It's a good one. It removes makeup pretty well, so that's why you can see it's almost gone. So I tend to use that on days when I wear a lot of sunscreen or I've got a lot of makeup on because it does a very good job removing makeup. So after I cleanse my skin, then I still am dedicated to using a toner. I've got 3 that I've been using recently. One is the Paula's Choice Skin Recovery Toner. And then another one is the It Cosmetics Miracle Water. This one's pretty good, but it can kind of dry out like around your eye area just a little bit, so be very careful with it. But I like using that. And then another one I've been using frequently is the COSRx AHA BHA Clarifying Toner. So that's a good one as well. So it just depends on what my skin feels like for the day. If it feels like it's got a little bit of makeup left on it, then I usually go to this one because it also is a micellar cleanser. So if I feel like there's still a little bit of makeup or residue on, I like to go with this one. If my skin is perfectly not dry, perfectly fine, then I like to use this one to get a little bit of alpha hydroxy and beta hydroxy acids on my skin. And then if my skin is feeling super dry or irritated, that's when I go with the Paula's Choice because I find that one does do a good job of calming it. So I do use a toner. There's lots of people that say you don't need toners, but I like using it because I feel like almost every cleanser out there still leaves a little bit of residue behind, and I like using this because this step gets all of that off. So you have a perfectly clean face if you use a toner and a cleanser. So I know there's lots of people that say you don't need it, but I think it's a good thing to have in your routine. So, and then from that, I'm having a hard time finding like a good essence. The Paula's Choice one is a good one. It is a little bit hydrating, a little bit different hydrating texture to it. So I like using that if my skin's feeling super dry. If my skin's feeling normal, then I go with the Tatcha Essence, which is expensive. The essence I really want is the Amore Pacific one. It's like $150, but it's got like tea in it. I really want that one, but I can't justify spending $150 on a liquid. So I went through several samples of it, and I'm pretty happy picking one of these two. So it just depends on how my skin feels for the day. So anyway, so then I will pat this onto my skin, let it absorb for a minute or so. And then I will go with my serum first. And one I love is the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Hydrating Serum. It's awesome. It absorbs so quickly. It's fragrance free, but it's chock full of antioxidants. So I've went through so many bottles of this, and I always have at least 2 backups at home. And I try and purchase them when they're on sale, either through the First Aid Beauty website or different companies that sell it. I haven't paid full price for this one in a long time, so I usually try and stock up when they're on sale. Another good serum I like is the Clinique Supercharged Moisture Concentrate. This is a good one. If my skin's feeling a little bit drier, I'll usually go with this one because this one feels a little bit more hydrating. The First Aid Beauty one absorbs pretty quickly, so it's not ultra hydrating, but it does hydrate a little bit, but absorbs. So even those with oily skin, I think, could benefit from this one. The Clinique one is a little bit more hydrating. And then another good one that I like is the First Aid Beauty oil-free mattifying gel. It really doesn't mattify very much. And I have dry skin, but I still like it because it's got a lot of good antioxidants in there. So in my opinion, I think they should take the mattifying word out of there because it's not really mattifying at all. And I've read reviews on it. A lot of people are disappointed because it doesn't really mattify as well. But it does a good job because of all the antioxidants in there. And it's also super light as well. So anyway, so those are my serums. And sometimes I'll mix them with other products too. It just depends on the day and how my skin feels. So then after that, I let that absorb. And I usually apply the Differin gel. It's a retinoid. It used to be prescription only. It's Adapalane. And now that it's over the counter, I'll purchase it. I like the fact that it's got a retinoid in there. It's technically an acne treatment, but they're doing research to see if it will help with wrinkles too. So I always like to throw a little bit of retinol in there whenever I can. And this one doesn't dry out skin at all either. So really like using this. Went through lots of tubes of that one as well. And then depending on how my skin is feeling for the day, I will either use the Drunk Elephant Bee Hydra, and I'll mix that sometimes with the Paula's Choice Peptide Booster or the DermaDoctor Vitamin C, high potency vitamin C oil. So it just depends on how my skin is feeling for that day. If I feel like I need a little boost or a little bit of brightness, I'll add this step in as well. But remember, with all these steps, you have to let them all soak in for like a minute. So it is really high maintenance. Sorry. And then after that, I'll wait a little bit, let all that stuff soak in, and then I will like to use retinol. So one good one that I love, the Paula's Choice Clinical Retinol. This is a good one. It's a little bit stronger, so be a little careful if you're first new to using retinol, or mix this in with a lotion or something to kind of not get as much retinol. So that's a good one I like, fragrance-free. The Avene Thermal, this one's a good retinol as well. I think it's about the same strength as the Paula's Choice, but it is a little bit more emollient and a little bit hydrating even, so I like that one. Those I just kind of use depending on what mood I'm in, but I like to use a little bit different. And then another good one is the Paula's Choice. It's the Ceramide Moisturizer, but it also has retinol in there as well. So if my skin's super dry, I usually go with this one to give my skin some extra ceramides, which are skin communicating ingredients that help the skin cells talk to each other. So anyway, so then I'll let that soak in for a short period of time. And then after that, this is a critical step that a lot of people don't have in their routine, but it's great to add in, and you will notice so many different benefits if you do. It's a alpha hydroxy or beta hydroxy acid or salicylic acid, or like glycolic acid. So things like that are very good because they help your skin get rid of dead skin cells that are on the skin. They help prevent clogged pores, help heal clogged pores. It's a really good step to add into your routine. So if my skin is feeling not dry, feeling hydrated, I will go with the Paula's Choice Advanced Smoothing Treatment. It's a little bit higher concentration, so if my skin's feeling dry or sensitive that day, I won't use this one because it's a higher strength. It's got alpha hydroxy and beta hydroxy salicylic acid in it, so it's got a little bit of both of those going into it. So it's a good one for a well-rounded routine for sloughing off dead skin cells and also helping prevent clogged pores. salicylic acid's really the good one. That's the beta hydroxy acid in this. So if my skin's feeling not dry, I'll use this. If my skin is feeling dry, I like to go with the Drunk Elephant TLC Framboos Glycolic Serum, which is quite the name. This one doesn't seem to dry out my skin at all, so I like using that one too. And then once a week, I'll use the Paula's Choice Resist Weekly Retexturizing BHA serum, or it's kind of a foam actually. And it's got 4% of salicylic acid in it, which is a good one, but probably don't want to use this one every week because there's a little bit higher percentage of salicylic acid in it. And then another good one I like is the Paula's Choice Skin Perfecting 2% BHA liquid, which is salicylic acid again. And sometimes I just use this on spot areas like my nose, just to prevent any clogged pores. So that's another good one. So that's another part. And, you know, the other thing I should mention is a lot of people, or a lot of skincare routines recommend applying this first before all of the other products. My skin is so dry and it just doesn't work when I apply that first. So I probably get a little bit less of it because I already have products on my face, but I just can't do them first because my skin is so dry. So anyway, so then I let that soak in, and then I go with the Drunk Elephant Protini. I usually apply this all over my face. And then the Lala Retro Whipped Cream. I usually just apply this in certain areas that are specifically dry that day, usually like the corner of my eyes, sometimes my nose. So I usually just spot apply that. Although in the winter, it's summer right now. In the winter, I use a lot more of the Lala cream. So, and the Protini is kind of a little bit thinner gel texture, and the Lala cream is a cream. So, so then I'll apply those. And that's pretty much the majority of the skincare. I let everything kind of soak in, and then I like to apply one more layer, just so everything soaks in overnight and kind of seal it almost. So I've got several different products I use for that. One that I really like is the Paula's Choice Ultra Rich Moisturizer. That's a really good one. Just depends on how my skin is feeling for the day again. If it's feeling super dry, I won't use this one. If it's feeling more normal, I'll use this one. Another one I like is the Pharmacy Sleep Tight. That's kind of a balm to oil texture, but it really does a good job. When you wake up in the morning, your skin will feel super soft and hydrated. And then another good one is the, I forgot how to, if there's a pronunciation for this, but the LXMI Pure Nilotica Melt. It's really just a Nilotica, it's one ingredient. And it is kind of, again, like a balm to oil texture, but it takes a little bit of work with it because it has a little bit of a grainy texture. So that's another good one I like. And then if my skin is feeling super dry, I'll go with the Paula's Choice Radiance Renewal Mask, which is another good one that I like to apply and kind of seals everything in. And then depending on how my skin is looking, sometimes I like to add a little bit of color to it. And the James Read Self Tan Sleep Mask is a good one. I like using this over everything. And even though I'm using it over like a million other products, it still gives me a little bit of a tan. So it's pretty impressive. And then on my eyes, I usually go with the Shaba from Drunk Elephant, the eye serum. I'll just apply that to my lid and upper eyebrow bone. And sometimes I'll do that with the Lala Retro Cream as well, just depending on how my eyes are feeling. And one other eye thing I always use every night is the Rodan & Fields Lash Boost. I've noticed such a difference since I started using it. It's expensive, but I will say one of these tubes, if you're not over applying it, lasts about 6 months. So it is expensive, but one of these lasts half a year for me. So, and I definitely have noticed a huge difference. And then sometimes I use this around my eyes, the Caudalie Resveratrol Lift, just another eye serum that you can use on your eyelid, upper eyebrow, brow bone, and then around your eye as well. And then finally for the lips, sometimes I use the Drunk Elephant Lippy Balm. If my lips are feeling super dry, I'll go with this. If my lips are feeling normal, I love this new Algenist Genius Collagen lip balm. So that's a new one, but I've been kind of mixing it in here and there. So it's very high maintenance. So I know you guys wanted to hear about it. So you guys can always pick and choose, or you don't need to necessarily rotate. For each category, I've got 3 or 4 different products. And you really only need one good one, but I just like to change it up. And then I'm always trying new things. So yeah, so it just depends on kind of what your school of thought is. If your skin is sensitive or acne prone, you're going to want to pick one thing for that spot and go with it every day. Or if you don't, you know, trying to get as many different ingredients onto your skin as possible is always a good thing. So anyway, that's about it, I kind of think. So, yeah, anyway, what do you guys use for your routine? Do you guys use any of these products? Do you guys have any opinions on it? Yeah, so I'm kind of interested. I don't know. I've watched a lot of routines, and I think I'm pretty high maintenance, but I don't know. So I'm interested in what you guys use. So, and if you use any of these, let me know. So, yeah, anyway, so leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys, and stay tuned for more reviews. And next week, I will release my morning routine for you. So it's not as bad as this one. So anyway, thank you so much, guys.